Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Kimmy Changa. First thing I want to say is Happy Black History Month. Second thing I want to say is to make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel and that you turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of my new content. Again, Happy Black History Month. And while I will rep this month so hard, much like my shirt says, I am Black every month. So one of the things I really want to say out there to people is that this month especially, you don't want the smoke. So keep all your comments and your ignorance to yourself. But one thing I do want to encourage you to do is to go out and research Black Americans throughout this country. Because one thing that gets swept under the rug a lot of times is the technical advancements, the medicinal advancements, just across the scope of how we live today was invented or created or thought of by a Black American. So when you celebrate it this month, keep that in mind, that a lot of the things that you're able to do today is because of a Black person who thought of it, created it, what have you. Another thing that's really important about this day is that 61 years ago on this day, 4 young Black men staged a sit-in at a segregated lunch counter in Greensboro, North Carolina. They refused to leave until they were given service, and they were students of North Carolina A&T Aggie Pride, and they were really spurred to action by the brutal lynching of 14-year-old Emmett Till just 5 years earlier. So they became known as the Greensboro Four, and they left when the lunch counter closed and returned the next day. And this peaceful protest sparked countless others across the nation that same year and going forward into the civil rights movement, of just sitting in libraries and hotels and beaches. And if you think about hotels, how they denied Black people entry into pools. So all these establishments, there were peaceful sit-ins to protest segregation at that time. And countless peaceful protesters, both Black and white allies alike, were arrested, brutalized, had hot coffee poured on them, were just victims of violence by both police and racist whites. But they stood their ground and they fought for equality and justice and equity. But unfortunately, that is still a fight that we have today. And unlike their white domestic terrorist-like counterparts, many of who you've seen at the Capitol insurrection who weren't arrested or arrested after the fact, these Black protesters and many of their allies were arrested oftentimes at these peaceful protests. So a lot of people like to act like the civil rights movement in those decades in that time is so far away, but most likely it included or was a time that your grandparents were in their prime. And that's not far. I mean, especially if you still have the blessing of being able to talk to your grandparents. So it's not that long ago, and we're still living through a cycle of police brutality and fighting for justice and fighting for equity. So there's a lot of things to keep in mind for this month, and especially after the year of 2020, where there was global uprising against police brutality and against discrimination against Black lives. This time, better than any other, is here for you to research Black history. It's Black history 365 days a year, but obviously a spotlight is put on this particular month. So take advantage of that, gain that knowledge, gain that wisdom, become a little more familiar with the path and the success and the creativity Black people have paved a path. But also remember that a lot of the creations and projects and plethora of things that Black people have created time after time are co-opted or just flat out stolen from them and given credit to a white creator, or because laws like Jim Crow and the whole time of the civil rights period carried on, and denied Black people rights, oftentimes things were just flat out stolen from them. Credit was flat out taken from them, and there wasn't anything they could do. And that goes to why we're still fighting for justice on so many fronts. So enjoy this Black History Month. Make sure you're learning every day, but particularly this month. And just stay strong, and remember that we will not stop protesting and we will not stop fighting for justice until we are on equitable ground and cases and people are given the justice that they deserve that has been denied them. No justice, no peace. Stay strong, enjoy this Black History Month, and as always, justice for Breonna Taylor. Peace.